What is up, y'all? Tegs and Ads here with you for another market update, crypto market update. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and head to the comments below where you can get access to our free Discord. Everything we do here at UTG is free, all of our guides and everything. We make all the mistakes that you shouldn't have to, so you can learn from our mistakes and make you a better trader. So unitytradinggroup.com, come into the free Discord. Let's have a look at the crypto market as it stands right now. Interesting day. And if I recall correctly, Ads, on your market update last night, you spoke more so, and I touched on this inside the Discord today as well, that if we were to look at a number of our oscillators on BTC as would it either be the 4-hour or the 1 day, from a technical standpoint on that side of things, this is needed. This is we were starting to get to the overextended realms of things, especially if you look on the 4-hour here on BTC. Our RSI has well and truly breached outside of the parallel channels, getting towards the overbought conditions. Steamroller was starting to scream at us that we were getting to a level where we needed to take some caution, and here we are. And for the overall scheme of things, these pullbacks are necessary and healthy for the overall uptrend of BTC. Ads.
100%. Last night I did touch on that exact fact that we were coming up to a major level of resistance or even supply level that we did break through. However, I was very not concerned, but I was just taking it into consideration that we were quite overbought in this instance. Of course, Steamroller, as you said, and we were overbought. We are coming down to that 50 level now on the RSI.
Yeah.
But that coinciding very nicely with the levels of resistance that we're seeing just up here, of course. And we did draw in the most relevant level of fibs. And if we do nip that up just a little bit, we are seeing that, surprise, surprise, the 38.2, as we always do, as we always say, is lining up very nicely with the top of our gravy train cloud. So that's a good sign in of itself.
Yeah, and speaking of the significance of Fibonacci, there was someone, I think it was I am Guna on that's IAMGOONER, I think is his name, on Twitter. He posted today about the previous BTC cycles and the significant fib levels that we saw, pullbacks from, and levels where we saw significant levels of support. I think he was on a weekly chart, and lo and behold, the 38 was the level every time where BTC found a significant level of support before the next run to the upside. So we've got our guide. You just type in Unity Trading Group Fibonacci. It does need a little bit of an update. I'm going to re-record that probably this weekend for you for an updated version. It's a couple of years old, but for someone who's beginning, it seems a little overwhelming and confusing, but Fibonacci is just the most incredible tool you could utilize as a trader for finding these significant levels of support and resistance. And then when you start looking at coins that go into price discovery mode, a la like FTT, Sol, for example, again, we've got another guide where you can use the trend-based fib extension to find these levels. And it's incredible how accurate it is. It really is pretty profound.
It's nuts. And it's been part of our base strategy for so long, for years and years now.
Yeah.
It just hasn't, and we haven't recycled that at all.
Yeah.
There's no reason to.
There's no need to. And look how well that aligns with the gravy cloud top as well. And still we come down. So I think we'll find out very shortly how that level, even being that 50 or the 61 in that golden pocket sort of area, may very well act as levels of support. So don't freak out too much because we're pulling back like this. If we look to the left-hand side, in the overall scheme of things, this is where people start freaking out and they start selling their bags off. Like, you look at how we've done this. These moves, this is not uncommon. So, be patient and remember to take profit on the way up.
Absolutely. And I think we'll find out very, very soon about that 38.2, probably even before this video is finished. But don't fear, don't panic. It's all part of the plan for BTC. It really needs to pull back to stay healthy, to accommodate this trend. Of course, we are seeing this trend continue to move to the upside, and we've had pullbacks along the way. It's just what it does. So although this time a little bit more profoundly and a decent candle size, which is good, but it does highlight the fact that we've been running to the upside for quite some time. And there you go, there's your 38.2 touch. But it does highlight the fact that we've been running to the upside for quite some time. So obviously have your stops in place and reassess the market in a day or two.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm finding, like, as I become a more experienced trader over the course of the years, these swings, and I don't even want to log into my Binance account to see how much money I may be down or how much I didn't take off the table or take profit along the way. But if you've got that long-term mentality, that you see your account swing, you just become almost numb to it. You're like, you know what, this is a move in the overall scheme of things. I believe in the course that we're headed. I've got my fiat on the sideline, as we always recommend, to buy dips like this, and you just continue on. And then 3-4 days later, you look back, or a week later, and you go, it was nothing. It was, it was meant to be. So don't stress about it. And I've got alerts going off left, right, and center here as well. LTC just pinged for me and hit my 202 level. So a pretty decent pullback across the majors at the moment. So let's get into to F at the moment as well. So admittedly, we did get a long signal on Gravy Train today to head up, and that quickly diminished. We saw this pattern that we've spoken about a number of times, where we were potentially, for myself, I was looking at another move up towards that supply at around 4,100, 4K sort of thing. So that level's been front run slightly as we hit that 4K. When we think about it, those round numbers, 4K, 10K, 20, 30, 40, 50K, those psychological numbers play significance from a psychological standpoint for a lot of traders. And you can see why that level was potentially front run, where it traps a lot of late buyers at those levels. And we're seeing like cheeky little wicks, like shakeout wicks, where the longs get trapped, then the shorts get trapped, and it becomes a little bit of a repeating cycle as of late. So there would have been a lot of people trapped at this particular level. But again, this is why you have fiat on the sidelines. And if we look at, I'll just try and bring up, get some of the noise off my chart. If you go back, if you just zoom out a little bit, ads. Let's do something like that. You can sort of see again how if we sort of draw a little bit of a trend line up from here, if we use this as like the first sort of major touch of that trend line, then that aligns pretty well with that demand zone that ads has drawn up there, which admittedly, that's where I do have some buy set. I've got some buy set down around the 3,500, layered back down to around 33 sort of 50 in case we get some violent wicks to the downside, which is where I'm kind of layering in some buys until we get to that point, ads.
Yeah, and it's not a bad idea to do that. If we're looking at this, downwards movement now, we've created a lower low, so it's going to be pretty evident that we'll probably come down and retest some of the most relevant levels. If we draw in our fibs, let's go from the swing low to the swing high. You can see our 38.2 is very close, and our 61 lines up very nicely with the level of supply that I've drawn in, demand that I've drawn in. And that falls in between the 50 and the 61 as well. So if we don't hold the 38, it's going to be this area or this pocket that I'd be looking towards the 50 and the 61. In between here, we've got this liquidity. And of course, we do have the previous top in that instance as well. So it's really looking towards that currently, just because we've got a lower low. Something along the lines of, we've got that high, we made our lower low, come back, retest to 23, make our decision here. Are we going to hold this 38 or are we going to continue to the 61? But that might be the play for me, Ty.
Yeah, and even overlaying a few of our indicators now at the moment, they're lining up pretty well with that level. So that seems like an interesting spot to consider what you're doing. But if you employ a smart dollar cost averaging strategy across these dips, you can find that you're placed pretty well if you do it the right way. So that's certainly what I'll be doing.
Absolutely.
All right, let's. Excuse me. Are there any other majors that you want to have a look at? Shall we have a quick look at LTC?
Yeah.
So LTC, a little bit more of a profound drop, with a high of 232, sitting back down here around that $200 mark. It was one of the let's say like the later majors to have a bit of a run to the upside. And LTC at these levels, this is the game you've got to play with LTC, because it can pull back dramatically, and then within a week, it's back up towards levels that you simply would not have expected. you know, if we look at the last run, I can't bring it up on the screen. I'll post something inside the Discord, but you look at the run that we had up towards that $414 mark before. You know, we fell from like 240 down to 155. Then we went up to 226, and then we fell down to 170. And then with the space of like a week and a half, we were up towards a 336 mark. So you can see how violent the pullbacks are on the overall scheme of things with LTC. And you've got to have pretty ironclad hands to do that. But if you look at the structure to the left-hand side there, here, if I can get my drawing tool on, there's not a great deal holding that back if it can sort of find a strong base around this level. So I think that's my anticipation of LTC. I'm certainly looking for some entries on LTC after seeing what it can do here. And looking at that structure to the left-hand side. So LTC is often one of the last majors to run in the overall bull cycle. So that's one of the ones that you can sort of look to play on when everything else is run and LTC is lagged. You know, it'll have its moment.
Absolutely. And there's not a lot holding it back, like you said. And that level of supply here, that really speaks to me at the -61 extension, of course, from just that area there. However, we've got a very profound drop, and you know, that's created a very high quality level of supply. So eventually, you know, from this move, we're going to see the 280 mark. Eventually, that is where price will gravitate towards when LTC does decide to move up and you know, join the rest of the crowd.
Yeah, totally. I'm pretty confident of that, to be honest. It always has its time. It's one of the dinosaur coins, but it's still got enough of a following and enough reputation for people to still be buying it and understanding that these moves to the upside can be quite quick, just as quick as they can be quick to the downside. But you know, you've got to have patience, and that goes towards what I was saying beforehand, where you know, I'm happy with the fluctuations of coins if I've got an overall vision for it. And even Jesse Livermore said that, you know, you're far better off being a trader that can hold than one that's constantly in and out of the market. You know, the patient buyers will often reap the rewards. And for most traders, I think you're probably better off just being in a coin and just sitting in the coin rather than trying to trade every swing. I think in the long run, for you mentally, if you can't balance, it'll be better for you.
100% speaks to me. Speaks volumes, mate.
Pungy. All right, let's have a look at any majors you want to have a look at, and then we can get into anything else you want to have a suss at.
I think I've been looking at FTT actually.
Oh, don't. Have you really?
Yeah, I've got a killer trade on FTT.
Yes, come on to the FTT bandwagon.
Don't just look at BTC. But we're due for a little bit of a retrace for FTT though. If we're going to have a look at the daily time frame, we'll keep it on the daily because it's probably the most relevant right now. If we're looking at FTT, you're looking at this area here, and of course, most notably this area here, we've got some consolidation of candles to the left-hand side. 64 is not too far away either. So something like this is probably on the cards, in my opinion, and not far away for that. If we draw from the swing low to high, we can see, 50-61 golden pocket area lines up very nicely with that daily level of supply there. So not a bad movement for FTT. Of course, we've got our bearish divergence with the steamroller indicator. Of course, RSI as well is showing that bearish divergence. So a few things in the bear's favor for FTT right now.
Yeah, totally. And I've said this many, many times with FTT, and where this stands right now that we've headed into all-time high territory is exactly what BNB did before it had its killer run. I remember looking at BNB, it was at $70, almost at this exact point when it started making it's like its first proper all-time high. And admittedly, I didn't think it would continue on with the path that it did. But I said, as more participants come into this market and they start finding somewhere to trade, that's going to be BNB. You look at the fundamentals behind the big wallets that hold BNB to reduce the fee structure when you're trading. FTX and the FTT token, in my opinion, will be exactly like that. And that's why FTT's behind Ethereum, my biggest bag holding, and has been for the last 5 or 6 months. So you look at what those guys are doing, and then you look at the other coins in the ecosystem. Sol is just doing massive things at the moment. You've got Serum, which is backed by FTX as well, and Sam, and all those guys from FTX. So anywhere these guys put their attention, you should be putting your attention also. These are the smartest guys in the market at the moment, incredibly brilliant minds. So yeah, like I said, Serum, FTT, they're, in my opinion, they're no-brainers.
Sol's going crazy because of the NFT circulating and everything.
Totally.
Like that.
Yeah, totally, because of the NFT market and the Sol bears and everything that you previously buy on it as well. The whole FTX ecosystem is exploding, and the NFT craze behind what Sol has done with their marketplace only helps to exemplify that. So, you know, I don't want to get too excited about a coin, but FTT, we'll look back at FTT now in 12, 18 months time, just as we're looking at BNB right now.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
Yeah, 100%. Agreed.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if you want to have a look at any regulated stuff. It's been a while since I've been on this on the market chat.
Probably not tonight. I haven't looked at regulated stuff in quite some time.
Oh.
I might do a couple of videos on TradingView about it though. So we'll keep this just crypto, I reckon.
Perfect. I love that. Well, come on into the Discord. If you follow what we've been doing, everything we do is free, by the way. And if you follow some of the calls that we've made over the last couple of weeks, you know, we speak about, we've been in this market long enough now to understand how these cycles work and how coins work. You know, we spoke about BTC being a runner. If ETH continues to run, then ETC will continue to run. That's done 40 odd percent. If ETC runs and then LTC runs, that did 40 odd percent. If you look at things like Ion, for example, Atom will run, and then Algo will go immediately after that. If you look at BTC continuing to run, Neo will follow suit. So, you know, there are so many correlations that we speak of inside the Discord that to help you become a better trader to identify these market cycles and how they work. So come on over, tell your friends. We do this because we love giving back to the community and love seeing you guys succeed.
Perfect. Very
Wonderful.
nice.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. UnityTradingGroup.com. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next market update.
Catch you then.
Bye.